Hey there, everybody. This is Andrew with Creative Community Solutions. And as you're aware on the press and media end, we get a chance to talk with some great people doing some great things across the board. So whether it's arts and entertainment, college and professional sports, community and nonprofits, education, it's always a pleasure when we get a chance to sit down with people really doing some solid things. To stay connected, make sure to connect through the website, acenortonccs.com. Click on the menu for articles and coverage, and you'll find it there. Creative Community Solutions LLC on Facebook and YouTube, Ace Norton CCS on Instagram and Twitter, and we will also have this available on LinkedIn and Medium. So as many people are aware, it's the month of April. It's an exciting time, as you can tell by the chatter in the background, which is great, But we know, especially for people pursuing college and other educational access pieces, you definitely need people to help you to navigate through. So we're so excited to have our guests join us. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Omari Simmons. I'm the executive director of the Simmons Memorial Foundation. I'm also a professor of law at George Washington Law School in Washington, D.C.
Well, Dr. Simmons, or Dr. Simmons Esquire, it's always a pleasure and privilege to talk with you. Before we dive in on the work of the foundation, including upcoming projects, give us a point of reference a little bit about your professional background as well as your community and civic background.
Okay, I will cover a couple of other areas. My trade is I'm an attorney, but actually I practiced at a law firm in private practice. And then after that, for the past 20 years, I've been a professor. And so I research and write, and my areas of expertise are corporate governance, but I also have an area of expertise in higher education, particularly higher education access. However, what I've done longer than that, I've actually run a small nonprofit advocating in the college access arena. And so it's called the Simmons Memorial Foundation. And so I've been doing this for approximately 30 years.
Wow. And it's great that you spoke with having the quote professional and field experience, the higher academic experience, and now being able to really dive in with your nonprofit. Walk through with us. I'll say, what's the motivation for you doing the work you're doing, especially through the auspices of your nonprofit?
Yeah, I think it goes back to sort of when we founded it around 1996, et cetera. Simmons Memorial Foundation, the namesakes of it are my brother as well as my mother who passed away, but both were very much enthusiastic about education. And so I come from a background of educators, but also small business people as well. And so it started that, but also it started from an interest in trying to provide in evidence what I didn't necessarily have in my community. And what I wanted, I grew up in a rural community on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, Delaware, or Virginia. It's called the Delmarva Peninsula. And what I noticed, students with tremendous potential, a lot more potential than me, even did well in high school, but they didn't translate that into a higher education outcome that was commensurate with their potential. And I thought that's sad. And so we decided to do something about it. And what we realized was that there wasn't this transitional help between secondary school, high school, and higher education. And so our nonprofit tried to fill a gap that was left by, pretty much a lack of funding, a lack of government help. So we're trying to patch things. But what we end up trying to do was give students the tools that they would need to sort of maximize or get a higher yield in terms of higher education, albeit being admitted, where they're admitted, but also scholarships and paying for it. I truly believe that the decision of whether and where to go to college is a quality of life decision for a lot of the students that we work with. And however, we don't equip students with the tools to make something that's so important. And so as far as our programming is concerned, we provide hands-on college advising to groups, but also on an individual one-on-one basis. We provide mentoring, sometimes providing access to certain professionals for some enrichment where students can have that. In the past, we provided college trips We provide scholarships, probably provided perhaps close to 80 or more scholarships over the years we've been in operation. And beyond that, we're a small nonprofit, and so where students get an opportunity to meet the people who are working with them. People that they're working with, particularly our college advisors, are the best in class. They are a part of all the, which we call associations in that particular field. They have a background working in college admissions in various places, both at the secondary school level, but also at the college level. And I think as competitive as it is, some students who really can't afford to take it for granted. They need all the tools that other people are using, and that's what we're really trying to do, is really level that playing field. We're not trying to send our students out into the world without any armor.
And I'm glad you walked through that, because again, the buzzwords I keep hearing are access to varying degrees, educational equity, and of course the adage of people having the tools in their toolbox so they know where to go in regards to getting, evolving better practices. And of course, I'm hearing the whole holistic approach, because you're not just one dimensional. You're looking at so many different moving parts that people are aware of and maybe might not be aware of. And again, this is the type of work your nonprofit's been doing for an extended period of time. So like they say, you're not new to this and you're true to this. So speaking of being true to this, walk through with us some of the many different things you're doing through the auspices of the foundation. What are some things that are coming up in the immediate or foreseeable future that people are able to plug into?
All right, great. Great question. Well, this month, April, on April 12th, a Sunday, from roughly 2 to 4 p.m., 2 to 3:30 p.m., we're having a webinar, and it's open. It's open to anyone, and I want to highlight here, all our programming is free. Everything is free. It sounds too good to be true, and it is, but it is indeed something that we're providing. So I just want to get that out of the way. But on April 12th, we're having a session along the theme of, for seniors particularly, you've been accepted to college, now what? And so I know a number of students have a lot of information in front of them. Maybe a list of schools they're considering, their financial aid packages, that they're discussing things over with their families, their guardians, their friends, and their mentors. And so what we're trying to do is take some of the pressure off. They have an opportunity to come in, ask questions, but also we're going to talk about various things, give them criteria, and give them certain, I guess, a framework to sort of approach the decision that's based upon what are some of the important factors. And so I think it's a really good session because it equips students as well as their families and friends and mentors and guardians with information that could indeed be helpful. Beyond just giving general information, our expert advisors are going to be available for questions. So if a student has a specific question about their situation, they can follow up on the webinar, but also offline, and actually speak to the advisor. Here's my situation. Do you have any thoughts? Now, granted, our advisors are not a replacement for everything that you have already at disposal, but view us as being a supplement to that. So that would be April 12th, and this is a very important session, but it's also a session that really builds students up too, because it's accomplishment just to get to this point of the road. And so we want to make sure that you get the most out of what you put into it. 12 years of school is a lot. So that's April 12th for seniors. On April 26th, we have another webinar, and this webinar is for underclassmen. So whether you're a rising freshman, current 9th grader, 10th grader, or 11th grader, or in the fall, you'll be a senior, we'd like you to attend this webinar, because what we're trying to do is give you a head start. This summer is really big, but also giving you the tools now that you can look at your academic record, you can look at the activities, you can look at a range of things so that you can build, for example, a resume or a CV that will put you on a path to being able to maximize your chances in the college admissions process. And it starts early. Certainly we can help you sort of at the end of that road, your senior year. But to have the best chance, as you all know, preparation is extremely important. And that's what we believe. And preparation gives you a lot more confidence as you approach the college decision, which could be daunting. So April 26th, once again, from 2 to 4, we're going to have a session really about college access and college prep 101 to put you on that road. And this is sort of a introductory thing to our programming that we continue next fall and throughout the year. Finally, a more recent activity we have a fundraiser. Our annual fundraiser is going to occur here in Washington, D.C. So if you happen to be in Washington, D.C. in early May, on May 2nd, from 2 to 4, please join us for a champagne reception. And what I'll make sure is that I'm able to provide some of the details in terms of logistics to Andrew following this discussion. But to say all of that is that these are just a sampling of some of the things that we can do. I would say that I would ask you to reference our website. You can just type in Google the Simmons Memorial Foundation, and you'll be able to see a range of things of our activities. But beyond that, you'll be able to see a photo gallery sort of capturing kind of what this journey has been for the past 30 years. And I have to say, the journey that I've been on with the Simmons Memorial Foundation is the most rewarding thing that I've done professionally in my life. And if we can help you in any way, I want to let you know that you have an organization here that's small and scrappy that has your back, and they're invested in your success.
And I'm so glad you walked through that, because I keep hearing again, access to resources, access to information. It's almost a bookend approach, with the April 12th event really being geared with those seniors to help them navigate through the next step in regards to their decision-making process. But then on the 26th of April, it's really 2-degree groundbreaking. For some, this might, for lack of a term, their first dip into the swimming pool, but you're making sure to give them their waders and their life vests and all that type of thing. So you're helping set the stage for success. And then, on that Saturday event, May 2nd, come on, it's spring. It's a nice afternoon. You're hitting that sweet spot right after brunch and before dinner to kind of meet, greet, and network. So share with us, with these and other moving parts, remind people of the best ways where they can learn more, not only about these upcoming events, but the history and ongoing program of the foundation.
Yes, I think the easiest way is to go to our website. On our website, there's drop-down menus where students can start the process. They can fill out an information form. And then ultimately, students, as I said, all our services are free, but you still have to submit an application. And this application is going to require some information, but it's going to be worth the investment because it's easier for us. We can't advise you if we don't have the information, and that's why we need it. And so that's all that's required. The same thing as other partners. If you happen to be a community organization who's working with students and want them to have an extra boost or added resources as far as academic or pretty much college advising in that respect, you can come to our website as well. Feel free to communicate with us via the website. We also have, for those who apply and are members of Simmons Memorial Foundation, we also have sort of an online community that's behind the wall. So the idea is it's sort of more of an interactive message board where you can ask questions there as well. And sometimes we end up posting additional information there for students so that they have it, because this could be helpful to some of the things that they're thinking about concerning college. So I think the website is the best place really to start. And if they have follow-up questions, do not hesitate to send an email through our information email there and fill out the form. We welcome inquiries, and then also we partner with other organizations. And so granted, we'll have our own programming, but we're open sometimes to some degree of customization to the extent that ends up being more effective for the students involved.
Well, I tell you what, First off, we commend you for how you're able to navigate through your moving parts. You can probably put that on the site too, how to navigate from point A to point B. We commend you for your movement. We commend you for the investment that you're making, really not just young people, but really equipping families and communities across the board. And again, the fact that you've got these access to resources, these constructive engagement opportunities, that does speak volumes about you, the foundation, and the work that you're doing. So as we get ready to wind down, if people don't recall the moving parts with your professional and community background, if they don't recall the moving parts regarding the work that the Simmons Foundation is doing, if there's one of the many lessons that you could probably drop, what's one lesson or one statement or words of encouragement, words of wisdom that you'd like to leave with us today?
Yeah, I'll say a couple of things. First of all, I want to commend you, commend Andrew Snorton for his commitment to community, locally and broadly as well. I fondly remember Andrew showing up to a Simmons Memorial Foundation reception that we had in Atlanta. We brought a group of 40 or 50 people, 40 students to see Atlanta area colleges. And we all met at Pascal's Restaurant and had a lot of discussion, fellowships, a lot of great information was exchanged. But beyond that, it was an investment in people. And so carrying on that, I would like kind of reference something or paraphrase something my late father, who founded the Simmons Memorial Foundation, spoke of when he thought about the organization and what we do. And the idea is that, what we're actually trying to do is, help people stand on our shoulders so that they can get over that fence to better opportunities. And even though people like my father and others, and even myself, I may not find a cure of cancer. I may not be president. I may not be the billionaire, but I know these students can. And knowing that gives us the satisfaction that we need. And so that's why we're here doing what we're doing, and we're fully invested in the students and their future, and we believe in them. And that's why we have this commitment. I also want to highlight that, I'm not paid to do this. I'm a volunteer. And I've been doing it for 30 years, and it's the students, their trajectory, and how they become wonderful adults. And I think college sets in motion a process that yields some benefits and some growth that you can't imagine in people. And it's because that I'm here, and I'm here because I had other people who did the same for me. And so I think we all, just like you do, Andrew, should try to pay it forward, because we know it helps and it makes a difference.
Well, I tell you what, those words are definitely things that should resonate with just about any and everybody. And we thank you for delivering those. We also, once again, thank you for the work that you're doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the first time that you're hearing about this story of impact, please do not let it be the last. As a reminder, you may visit asnortonccs.com, click on the menu for articles and coverage. You'll find it there. You'll also be able to connect Creative Community Solutions LLC on Facebook and YouTube for not only this full talk, but highlights of our conversation today. Ace Norton CCS on Instagram and Twitter, and of course, connect with us on LinkedIn and Medium. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, all of you take very good care. Continued well wishes, words of encouragement. We'll look forward to connecting with you real soon.